Hey everyone, welcome back to Inforamic. My name is Vlad. Today I want to talk about something we all experience but rarely discuss, which is a failure. And now I know just hearing the word failure can feel uncomfortable. It's that thing that we all dread. But here's the truth. Failure is part of life, and more importantly, it's a necessary part of growth. So there is no success without failure, so you understand. And in this video, we're going to dive deep into failure, why we avoid it, and why it's actually essential, and most importantly, how to embrace it like a professional. I'll share some of my failures, the lessons I have learned, and practical tips you can use to turn failures into greatest of your strength. And why nobody wants to talk about failure. It's, to be fair, it's hard to admit that, I failed, but let's kind of dive deeper into it and see why people don't like to discuss it. And let's start with this. Why is failure such a taboo subject? Why do we feel so ashamed when things don't go as planned? And one big reason is social media. We live in a world where everyone is sharing their highlight reel and successes, achievements, wins, but no one posts about their mistakes. No one wants to admit, I messed up. Their struggles, their failures, nobody wants to admit to that. So we start to believe that everyone else has it all together and we are the only ones messing up. But that is not true. It's far from true. Another reason is that pressure to be perfect. From the young age, we're taught that failure is bad. And think about your school, for example, when you're young. If you fail a test, it's seen as reflection of your intelligence. And if you fail at something in life, it feels like reflection of your worth. But here is the thing. Failure isn't always about who you are. It's about what you do and how you grow. And let me give you a personal example. I almost failed before I even started this YouTube channel, which is super new. I only have about 4 subscribers right now. And, yeah. And for years, I had this idea of creating this channel where I could share my journey, my lessons, and my creativity. But every time I thought about starting it, I convinced myself it would fail before I even tried. I told myself no one would watch it. Worse, that people would tear it apart with negative comments. I assumed it would just be a waste of time because I didn't see myself talking to a camera, talking to people through a camera. It was kind of crazy to me. And because of that fear, I didn't even try. I let my own assumptions stop me before I even gave myself a chance. And looking back now, I realized that was my first failure. And with this channel, not starting when I wanted to. But here is another thing. That failure taught me something important. It taught me that the fear of failure is often worse than failure itself. And my biggest failures and what they taught me, let's talk about that. What I learned from my failures. And because I think it's important to normalize talking about this stuff. And maybe you will see a bit of your own journey in my journey. So let me give you an example of my failure that actually taught me something. And the first one will be, it's my business, my first e-commerce drop shipping. Like I mentioned in my previous video, this was my first business. I was so excited to start it online, to start an online store, start selling pet supplies, but I did not know anything about supply chains, customer service, or marketing. And when things started to go wrong, I didn't have tools to fix them. So eventually I had to shut it down. But here's what I learned. Planning matters. Preparation matters. And more than anything, adaptability matters. Just because something does not work out the first time, it doesn't mean you are not cut out for it. It just means you need to do more. You need to adjust. You need to adjust yourself to your business and your business to yourself. And my second failure was my second business, which was print on demand clothing store. And this was a personal to me because I was designing everything myself. I thought this is it. This is my passion. This is going to work. But I underestimated the challenges of scaling a clothing business. It wasn't enough to create great designs. I needed to understand marketing, pricing, and how to stand out in a crowded market. So when my second business didn't work out, it hurt me so bad. I was depressed, I was sad, but he also taught me the importance of research and strategy. It showed me that creativity alone isn't enough. You need a plan to back it up. Because without a plan, your steps are not thought through. So how can you move forward without understanding where to go, which direction? And my number three mistake, my failure was not starting my YouTube channel sooner. And the fear of failure can be paralyzing. For years, I held myself back from starting this channel because I was so focused on what could go wrong, what other people would say, like bad stuff about me and stuff like that. But you know what I have realized? The worst case scenario, I was so afraid of what's never happened. And when I finally started this channel, I've realized how easy it is, and I got encouragement, and I'm getting feedback that I have never expected, which is bare minimal, but it's different from what I expected previously. And the lesson here, don't let the fear of failure to stop you from starting. The real failure would have been never giving myself a chance. And everyday challenges at my print shop, that probably will be my number four failure. Well, it's not even a failure. It's just constant grind. Even with my business, I'm really proud of. There have been plenty of failures along the way. There have been printing errors, messed up deadlines, and times when I didn't communicate as well as I should have with my customers. But each of those moments taught me something valuable. And the fact that I have been able to learn and grow from them is what keeps me going. You understand? And part of, you know, why failure is necessary part of your growth. Do you know? Let me tell you. Here's the thing about failure. It's not just inevitable. It's essential. Failure is how we learn and how we grow. It's how we figure out what works and what does not work. Think about it. When you were a kid learning to ride your bicycle, did you get it right the first time? I'm sure some of you say, yeah, I did. Well, most of you, no. And you probably fell down a dozen times before you even figured it out. But each time you fell, you learned something. You learned something new. You learned how to balance, how to steer, and how to keep going even when it felt scary. And the same is true in life and in business and in relationship. Every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is a chance to improve yourself, to improve situation, and to work around it. And here is what I have learned. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the path to success. The only way to avoid failure is to never try. And if you're not trying, you're not growing. Water does not flow under a lame rock. That's just how it is. So how to embrace failure like a professional. Now that I have talked about why failure is important, let's get into the practical stuff. How do you actually embrace failure and how to use it in your advantage? Like how to make a win from a failure. And here's a few strategies that have worked for me and might work for you. We'll have to see. First one, reframe failure as feedback. Use it as, a response from the other side of your action, on your actions. Instead of seeing a failure as the end, see it as data. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? Number two, separate failure from your identity. Failure is not you. Failure is just something that did not work out. That's it. Failing at something doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you tried something that didn't work, and that's okay. Number three would be normalize talking about it. It's okay to talk about your failures. The more we talk about failures, the less scary it becomes. Similar to making this YouTube video, you know, it's not as scary as it seems. Share your experiences with friends, mentors, or even the comments below. Share your experiences. You'll be surprised at how many people can relate. And number four is celebrate the effort. Trying something new takes courage. And even if it doesn't work out, celebrate the fact you took that action, you took that risk, you took that step. Without taking it, you would have never known what's in it. What's in it for you? Keep moving forward. That'll be my number five for you. The only real failure is giving up, is also not trying. If something doesn't work, take the lessons you have learned and try again. And, to finalize it, here's the truth. Failure is not the end. It's part of your story. It's a chapter, not the whole book. If you're struggling right now, I want you to remember that you are not alone. We all fail. All of us. You, me, them, everyone. But what matters is how you respond to it. Learn from it, grow from it, and keep moving forward. Because every step you make, every step you take, failures included. It's bringing you closer to success. Fail, 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 fail. Boom, success. Boom, you got it.